A business valuation is a pivotal tool, whether you're buying a business or selling one that you already own. I'm Bob DePasquale from Initiate Impact Virtual Family Offices, and today we're talking about how to valuate your business and why it's so important to do so. Making a decision to start a business, buy one, or wind one down is such a critical part of an entrepreneurial journey. And having a business valuation can help you make the wisest decision possible. And today we're going to dive into some of the ways you can do that and why it's so important to have a solid valuation. There are 8 things I want to talk about, but the first one are some documents. Your income statement, your balance sheet, and your cash flow statement. All of these documents are critical to determining the value of a business. In addition to understanding those key financial statements of an organization, you also want to understand the market. And so the second thing I want to talk about is a market analysis. What are other organizations in your industry worth? Where is that market going? How does the industry project over the next several years? The third thing I want to talk about is an asset-based valuation. This focuses a little bit less on the income and those statements I mentioned earlier, and more on the assets that the business actually owns. What type of assets does the business own? Are they tangible assets like real estate and equipment, or are they intangible, intellectual property and trademarks? A counterpart of the asset-based valuation, as I mentioned, is the earnings-based valuation. And there are 3 things to mention here in this type of valuation. The first is the PE ratio. Bear with me here on all the acronyms. PE stands for price to earnings. And the next one is EBITDA, EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. And the last one is DCF, or discounted cash flow. The first of those 2, PE and EBITDA, are somewhat related to how the business looks right now, whereas the discounted cash flow is very future looking. The 5th thing I want to mention is a market comparable analysis, somewhat similar to the market analysis I mentioned earlier, but in this case we're going to go directly to other companies and we're going to compare some of those metrics that I just mentioned. We want to understand exactly how other sales and other transactions related to other companies are for you and your business. That way you'll understand what other businesses are going for. If you've ever sold or bought a home, it's somewhat similar to this. You want to look at surrounding areas. And in this case, the industry and the world today with technology, surrounding doesn't mean just geographically. Surrounding could be in many different places because there's industries all over the world and companies that can be comparable to yours. I want to double down on intangible assets as well. We talked about trademarks and different things that could have value for your company. These can be very, very tough to evaluate. A professional in that specific area could be very helpful. In fact, we recommend that you engage them if you need a true valuation, because these assets can be looked at very, very differently, and especially in different industries. The 7th thing is a risk assessment. Anyone who's buying a business, and if it's you buying the business, you really want to know what the risks are to be involved with this organization. Is key personnel an issue? Do they rely heavily on specific people? Are there industry or regulatory changes that you need to know about? And going back to the market analysis once again, what are the general risks in the market and in that industry? There is certainly nuance in finding a business valuation, but we would recommend that you get a comprehensive analysis, especially if you're making a large purchase or you're looking to exit your own firm. It's key because different views from different people in different areas can really help you understand what your organization is worth. And really, it's worth what people are willing to pay for it, is it not? So get as much information as you positively can and understand how an organization works, what are the pros, the cons, what are the benefits of owning it, whether you're owning or looking to buy, and of course, what are the risks? And come together with that comprehensive valuation so you can present your information to the other parties involved in the potential transaction. And even if you're not involved in the potential transaction, wouldn't you want to know exactly what an organization is worth? So those are the 8 things. There's certainly some overlap in the different pieces, but that's because there's so much nuance in business valuation. And we cannot stress enough the need to understand as much data as possible. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with too much information, but in this case, You really can't have too much information. I'm Bob DiPasquale from Initiate Impact Virtual Family Offices. Hoping your business valuation goes really well and you have a generous rest of your week.